When these free runners and trickers do these amazing things, it's not they're amazing. It's they're proving what the human body is capable of. It's humans are amazing. This is what we can do.
What's up, guys? Today's guest is a world-renowned free runner, the first Red Bull-sponsored parkour athlete, and a two-time winner of the Red Bull Art of Motion. Please welcome to the JAMCast, Mr. Ryan Anthony Doyle. What's up, Rad?
Thank you for that intro. That was amazing.
You're one of the few.
Go on.
You're one of the few people I could have kept listing off, creator and owner of the Airborne Academy.
And I know you can as well with the memory you've got. You're one of those guys that can just. I know when I first met you, Travis, on the MTV show, and you were looking at cue cards. Yeah. And I'm like, well, aren't you going to try and memorize that shit? And he's like, photographic memory, dog. I'm like, what the hell? Tell me about this. And every event you've ever done, when it comes to announcing and hosting, you get everyone's name. You know everything about everyone. And it's like, how does this guy remember so many people? It's a gift you've got. It really is.
I appreciate it. And you know what makes it easier is when I'm not only just getting to announce people I don't know, but it's even easier when it's people like yourself that I'm a fan of and also a friend of, because I feel like I know way more about you, so it's way more personable.
Helps that the people are memorable and have crazy accents and shit. You know what I mean?
I feel like we lived in a crazy age in parkour where, not to say that people are clones of each other now, but I feel like there was a lot of personalities that stuck out back in the day between yourself, Danny, Tim, or Livewire at the time was known for being on his hands all the time. I feel like there was lots of very distinct personalities,
It was and we're all from different unique backgrounds, and that's one of the beauties of the sport, is that you can see people's history in the way they move. You can go, that guy's come from a martial arts background, that guy's come from capoeira, that guy's a b-boy, that guy's come from gymnastics, that guy comes from wushu, you know what I mean? And it was in our generation when the gyms kind of allowed over the hill sessions and all the different styles started merging together. And everyone kind of borrowed each other's skills and was like, wow, movement's just movement, isn't it? Let's take it outside and take it to levels, you know what I mean? And then free running. Tricking actually became its own thing. Flatland tricking is still, it's one of the 5 genres in free running and parkour, but, along with, you got wall tricks, bar tricks, flatland tricks, height drops, and vaults.
Vaults, yeah.
But tricking just kind of, originally before I got into free running, I was a tricker, because free running was non-existent at the time. It was the closest thing I could find to freedom. At the time, it was, you watch The Matrix, Jackie Chan, Ninja Turtles, and it's all these ninjas run up walls doing flip spins, and it's like, how do I have that freedom? So you go through all the strict discipline martial arts, and it's like, that's not teaching me how to run up a wall. But best years of my life was the 6 years I spent in traditional Korean martial arts, Kuksul One. It was all low stances and forms and animal stances and 2,000 wrist locks, and when it's just drilled into you because you've been doing them over and over again, it's like, you know what, this is just choreography for a fight scene I'm going to do one day. You know what I mean? So when it comes to the forms, people, if they're getting into martial arts, you'll think it's just a dance, you know what I mean? What this means, until the instructor comes over and explains, that's a hit, that's a grab, that's a hit. You get the block hit, you know what I mean? It's like, it all means something if it's used correctly, and then you can't undo it. You can't unsee what you've been shown.
Totally. And you know what's kind of crazy? I've kind of realized a lot of people and pivotal figures in the sport actually started with martial arts, not just you, but there's tons of guys, even the 3-run guys had a martial arts background. Eric 3-run Mukamechin, he had a martial arts background. It's crazy.
Well, it's still movement, but martial arts side of movement brings discipline to movement. And that's what I think a lot of people crave, is the structure side of it, the discipline side of it, making sure you respect what you're doing, because it can be dangerous. It can kill somebody if it's used wrong. You can kill yourself if you use it wrong. And, you can see a happy-go-lucky free runner run up the wall, but if you're 5 years old, you go, I want to be that guy, I want to go, and you just think it's that easy and it's that free, and you'll really get hurt if you don't respect what you're doing and how dangerous it can be. It's an extreme sport for a reason, you know what I mean? And sometimes it confuses me when you've got academies and the parents come with the kids, and I'm like, wow, why would you bring your child to an extreme sport. You should be doing this. You need this more than this kids do. You know what I mean? This type of stuff it should be for everyone. It's just movement, and science is now starting. You know, when you got like free runners going into physiotherapy, going into this, going into that, and going into the science behind what happens to the body when you stretch. What chemicals do you release when you stretch? What chemicals do you release when you scare yourself and you get your adrenaline pumping and all that? You know, so it's like we have an adrenal gland and we can activate it, and it has youthful properties. You know that feeling when you get off a roller coaster and you're like, whoa, yeah, let's do it again. That adrenaline rush, it makes you feel like alive, you know, and we can activate it. We're born with two natural instincts to activate your adrenaline gland: the fear of falling and loud noises. Yep. So at any point we can set off fireworks and kick off our adrenal gland and get like some youth aging property. You know, we don't have to buy one on the black market.
I think you
won't go there, like. But the point is that like it's almost the science that's coming out now is proving that, you know, this type of training, free running, can almost unlock immortality to a degree, and the philosophy behind the training side of it, you know, you connect different points A to point B, you're solving a problem. Everything's got this efficiency side to it that can not just benefit on a physical level, but benefit people on a mental level, how you can get from A to B and decide where you want to be in the future and stuff. There's that side of it. There's something about practicing solving problems on a daily basis, like you set yourself a line and then you solve the problem, and this sense of accomplishment becomes addictive. You don't need a black belt or a certificate at the end of the week. You just reward yourself with new movements and new skills, and also the achievement of accomplishment. You know, you get that sense of accomplishment, and then that becomes addictive, and you start applying it to other stuff in life. But going back to what I say about the science behind it, it's just, I think, you know, have you ever heard the expression, do something every day that scares you, keeps the soul young? There's a lot of truth to behind that. And that's kind of like where I want to stick out with parkour. I've almost found a new love for it again, you know, because I was thought, I'm getting old now. One of these days, it's gonna catch up on me, arthritis. And I realised that arthritis is this guy waiting. I'm on the treadmill, training, running throughout my life, and he's standing there going, the moment you stop, Ryan, as soon as you stop training, Ryan, I'm waiting for you. And I'm like, fuck you, I'm not going to stop, fuck you.
Dude, I feel that more than ever, bro. I feel that more than ever. We're like pretty much the same age, and I've kind of recently fallen back into love with training parkour, especially outside again, because it's kind of like you said, those two fears that we have that incite the adrenal gland. Definitely, I've been like getting that self-satisfaction and that self-adrenaline rush by training outside again. If trying to, not doing it to feel young, but you do get that sense of like, wow, I feel alive more than ever, you know?
Alive, that's what it is. It's just feeling alive and knowing that you've got control over your home body, the environment that your body's in. And you can walk to the edge of the cliff and go, you know what? It's my choice to jump off or not. I like the fact that my life is in my hands. There's no rail or thing telling me what to do. It's not in the safety state. It's like, wow, I could end it all now or not. I have that power over me, and there's that sense of freedom. I don't, you know, obviously I'm going to choose not to end it all now, because as far as I'm concerned, the way the world is headed right now, we are moving into a utopia. You know, the technology that's going to be released in the next 10 years is going to, they're already developing 20 different types of flying car.
Oh yeah.
Can you believe that?
Dude, I have a Tesla, so I didn't even drive here to the studio today. I autopiloted.
Yeah, of course you did. Oh, you just reminded me. It was Hannah's birthday the other day, and we got her a car, brand new Lexus, big luxury thing, and it's press a button and it just parks itself.
Yeah.
No, it's not quite a Tesla yet though. But I'm kind of waiting for the battery power to increase, because you know, they'll live as long as a normal car in terms of battery life.
Yeah.
And the graphene batteries now that they're coming up with, and even hydrogen fuel cells. It's just, there won't be any motors on the road in the next 10 years. It'll all be electric.
Yeah, electric or hydrogen.
Futurama dimension, isn't it?
100, man. But it's kind of like you said, though. It's almost like to quote one of our good friends, Danny, like back in the day where we talked about the freedom of going up to a ledge or not. Like Danny's old famous quote from that video, you know, choose to fall, choose not to fall. It's all choice, you know?
Yeah, that's true. You know what it is? Like, it's hard to understand, but it translates into so many different things. Choose not to fall, choose. What's the other one? It's like, if you believe you're not going to make it, or if you believe you are going to make it, whichever one, you're going to be right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, you'll always prove yourself right. So this is what I mean about like death. Sometimes, like, I go into our version of Walmart, and you see some really big people, and they're buying more food, and then you see the smokers with the skin falling off the face, and they're getting more cigarettes, and the alcoholics are getting more alcohol, and I'm like, it's quite sad that people actually just want to die sometimes. Because, I mean, it's okay, you can have a drink, but if you're drinking faster than your body can heal itself, then it's a downward spiral. It's just a math equation. If you're eating faster than your body can shift it, then yeah, you're going to balloon up, and that'll have a bunch of problems and deaths related to it. And if you're smoking faster than your body can actually change themselves in your lung, then yeah, I mean, you know what I mean? It's okay to do everything, but understand the rate that your body heals. And mine takes about 3 days to recover from anything. You know what I mean? If I have a glass of wine one night, I mean, I'm a real lightweight. I don't drink that often, like birthdays, Christmases, or whatever. But when it hits me, bro, especially a glass of red wine, I mean, you think I don't stop talking as it is? I go deep, bro.
I've been there. I've been there. I've witnessed
I remember that time when you were like, I was in this phase of just getting all cool quotes together, or condensing emotions into simple sentences. Yeah. And you were like, throwing where, like, give me something about coaching, and I come up with this cool quote. I'm going, give me something about training, I come up with this cool quote about training. That was that was in your old place. You had a few houses since then.
It's so crazy to look back on.
How's Six? Is he still there?
Dude, he's chilling. He's getting older. He's almost 10 now. It's crazy to think about. You know, it's crazy to see how time flies, man. I still just have the little dog, and you're about to have your first newborn, right?
That's right. Oh man, that's such a upgrade .dad file, isn't it? Yeah. And you know what, man? It was such a wanted decision. You know, we got our nest here. We got. I love my house now. Got my little hot tub. Have you seen the Lazy Spas, the inflatable hot tubs, man? Fantastic. It's like I've had 2 so far. And so I've just kind of been working on this place, nesting a bit, and we got married last year. We're going on that. Yes. Titanium to match the bar in my leg.
Yes.
And then we just thought, I was working on the remake of the Oliver Twist movie. This is with Rafi Law's son. No, Jude Law's son. His name's Rafi Law, and it's great. I can't believe the cast has got Michael Caine as Fagin, Rita Ora, Keith Lemon, David Williams. It's got quite a comedy list, and halfway through it, I was coming back and forth from Liverpool to London, and then sometime on that trip, we just made a baby.
It's funny, man. It tends to happen. Dude, I'm thinking there's going to be a lot of babies born in like 6 to 9 months from now, all during the lockdown when everyone was stuck at home.
Into the new world, isn't it? Welcome to the new world. Hopefully all the crap will be over by then.
Yeah, man. Well, yo, one of the things that I got to ask you about, which you know, kind of leads into the legacy that you've left around for your child, which is a lot of people now we're blessed and spoiled in the sense that there's so much parkour content saturating across the internet, from Instagram to YouTube to just the World Wide Web, in movies and stuff. But your story is a little unique because you are the first Red Bull sponsored athlete. And before that even happened, and before winning any of the competitions, how did you make the break into parkour and free running?
Oh, yeah. Wow. Good question. So as you know, I was a tricker, and I was in university studying media. Finally got my media degree, and I was always putting it together because, you know, I loved action cinema, but I loved it to the point where I wanted to make it better. You know what I mean? It's like coming up with stuff that hadn't been seen. It's like, this needs to go in something marvelly. And so I thought, well, let's explore this direction. Grew up watching Jackie Chan films, and I could see, you know, back in the day, he was the godfather of free run. He was running at walls, jumping over cars. And I mean, props to David Bell and all that, but since the 1960s and 70s, Jackie Chan was killing it. And to me, he's the godfather of parkour because you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying? I just ended up competing at as many tournaments as I could in the tricking world.
Yeah.
And was loving it at the time. I got 5 tricking titles, national titles, and then I made a video called Crazy Park Day. This is the story. Now we've got there. Boom, boom, boom.
Perfect segue, Ryan. Perfect segue.
I made a video called Crazy Park Day where I wanted to prove that I wasn't just a tricker. I could, because freerunning was on the rise and it was the word parkour was getting louder. And I was like, well, we all kind of did this. Now finally it's got a name. It's accepted. It's cool. Let's take the flatland tricks that I've learned and take them to levels. So I went out into the crazy park and made Crazy Park Day. And that went viral. Got me an invitation to the Red Bull Automotion, the very first international freerunning tournament. I'm like, cool, okay, well, yeah, try my best. My mother says, make sure you win, Ryan. Don't break a leg. And then, Mum.
I broke a leg.
Broke a leg.
Oh, man. Yo, well, I've...
Weird because they announced the scores in reverse order, so everyone's at the top and they're saying the scores, but like the commentary was in Austrian, so I wasn't sure what they were saying, and I thought it was the third run. I was like, you don't do third runs, you know what I mean? So everyone's going down with a bit of a bang, dude. And I thought, oh, me, I'm last to go. But it actually meant I had the highest score. It didn't mean it was your third run. And I started throwing the third run, and then I just threw a double core because I see Marcus do a double or a triple, and I thought, you know what? Big ass Matt, I'm not going to miss that. I missed it. Went through the worst injury a freerunner can go for, having your tibia and fibia just snapping through your skin out your leg, and I picked it up and it was just swinging, and well, that's it. And I was in hospital and speaking to Victor Bavine from the MTV series, from the WFBF, the World Freerunning Parkour Federation, and IPF. The guy's been so good to me. Even then in the bed, he said to me, you're young, Ryan, you'll get strong, you'll get back, you'll recover. We're going to do this MTV series, and this is how I met you.
Yes.
So me and Danny were like Skyping back and forth with Victor, trying to come up with a concept that worked, a plan that would be good for the audience, because they wanted competition. They wanted to print a name at the end of each episode and a loser and a winner. And we wanted it the team thing. The video was such a great representation of the team thing. It doesn't mean there's a winner or a loser. It just simply means if you mix up the teams and get 2 different videos again, the videos are judged against each other, not the athletes type of thing. You know what I mean? It worked. We done an art of motion like that in Kuwait, where it was just
the video
videos, and it was the best representation of the words art of motion. Mm-hmm. I really think that's the way it goes down. Give the athletes cameras, a car, a drone, and everything. That's what they did, and let them do the work. Why? Because that's what they do. That's what they're good at. That's what they do every day. Don't get them into a competition. Why? Because they're used to being with the boys and having cameras, and you know what I mean? It's more about the art that they can create with the bodies. Not just having there's too many limitations on a tournament like that. Having 1 minute 30, it's like it's over so fast. Boom, gone.
Yeah, and taking it back to your video, because you know how you're talking about how videos are so representative of the sport. On Crazy Park Day, I know that you said that was like your introduction to show you weren't just a tricker, but how often did you practice parkour? Because like in that video, you throw down like Kong Gainer, you know what I'm saying? Like you do a lot of non-tricking moves.
No, that's what I mean. I was a free runner, and I've been training up into that point. So I need to make you just need to let someone know I'm a free runner. Okay. Because up until now, people knew I could flip and do stuff, but I was always going in the martial arts direction with fight scenes and tricking and stuff. But that's because that was what was there before free running. You know what I mean? They grew out of the same pyramid, and they're still both at the top. So it's kind of like you'll find that most free runners now can trick, and most trickers can free run. And Bailey's gone into free running.
Mm-hmm. I know, I'm there every day. I'm the one filming all those clips.
Yeah, man. You know what's going on.
Yo, but I got to ask you this, though. Technically, Crazy Park Day should be Crazy Park Days, because if you really study the video, you realize your hair changes in the middle of it.
Right. There's a story behind that. Right. It's filmed in 2 halves. So I got the Kong Gainer in there first, obviously, and then filmed back. Frank invited it together. And then went back to film part 2, which is after the Congainer. Everything we do after that point is part 2 on a different day. Because in between I had to go to Austria. I was on tour with a Christian hip-hop band, and I was wearing fluorescent yellow jacket, fluorescent yellow shoes, and they just bleached me hair yellow. So I turned up all the vibrance in the video. You see all the colours pop, but that's to kind of drown out the yellow hair going on halfway through the video.
Yes.
So if you watch halfway through, it just goes from like ash blonde to bright yellow, and it's funny.
I heard a rumor too on your own channel that you may be trying to do Crazy Park Day Part 2, where you go back and recreate it.
I went and scouted it. That's true. Just because I don't feel like I feel like I've got more skills now than I ever have. Why not go back, redo it to show that like you don't deplete over time. You have to get better or something. You know what I mean? If you train correctly, you can last forever. And I know parkour and freerunning can be seen as a very self-destructive sport, but no, that's the end result of what you can do after mastering your body, and you can train to the point where you're conditioned and to last forever. And that's where I'm at. My training is daily, even if it's just a stretch out. I can't skip training. I need to give that. It's almost like a personal yoga session, and I feel like everybody needs to create this. It's not about, you can watch a lot of other people's videos, where workout videos, and you can take bits of their workout, take bits of their, and add them to your own workout. People need to, every time we train, our muscles contract. And when we get to the point where you've got no distractions and you can actually listen to your body and you can feel the pain, you'll be like, it's screaming in agony. I've got knots here. My hamstrings are so tight. But you don't know that until you reach over, and like, if you could talk, they'd say, and you're like, but it doesn't speak in English, it speaks in pain. Everyone needs to listen to the body and realize that with what we can do, that's what we should. When these freerunners and trickers do these amazing things, it's not they're amazing, it's they're proving what the human body is capable of. It's humans are amazing. This is what we can do. And so I still split three ways. I've got my split machine for my birthday, you know what I mean? It's like I can't cope with losing skills. It kills me. It's like the start of dying.
Dude, that's a good way to put it, man. And I think we're lucky because you and I are living in a time where hopefully technology will catch up to us. If our knees crap out down the road, maybe we'll get to replace them. Like, we have a lot of things happening in the modern technology and medical space that our parents didn't have.
Technology to get to the point where they can like transfer your consciousness into a perfect clone of your body that's never injured itself, and you'll just be able to like, boom, fresh, no scars on my leg. Got me original teeth.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. But then they'll say, but Ryan, you're back being blind again because your DNA says you've got terrible eyesight.
Oh man, dude. And that's what's crazy, man, is that like you've definitely seen a full evolution, and you kind of just talked about your leg break that happened at 2007 Vienna, Austria, Art of Motion. And what's crazy about that is even though you broke your leg, you still won best trick. You also won the competition. And was that the start of you becoming a Red Bull athlete?
Yeah, so me and Red Bull kind of stayed buddies for a whole year. I feel like they were kind of keeping ties on me to see if I would recover. And then when they found out that I made a full recovery within 8 to 12 months, I got all my skills back. They handed me a contract in 2008. Wow. And I was like, what's this all about? And I didn't know Red Bull even sponsored athletes. I just thought they are, some people know it's an energy drink. Some people know it as like something to do with Formula One. Some people think it's a sports promotions company. It's like, no, everything to do is just about that can. And I've got 10 crates over there in the fridge. And technically, I'm still a Red Bull sponsored athlete. I've been with them forever. I don't do any of the major projects with them anymore. It's like, you've rinsed me on that. Let Jason and Pasha, and I've traveled the world twice. You know what I mean? I make my own projects. But yeah, me and Red Bull are still cool. Wow. And that was the start of such an epic adventure, because from that moment, from the leg break, my life split two directions. I've got Red Bull dragging me around the world on one side, and I've got what's going on in America with the O1 visa, doing fight science, doing Freerunner the movie, That leads into being Ellen DeGeneres' stunt double on the set, and then that led on. You know what I mean? I just kind of like blew up all over the world around the 2012 mark, and that was around the time when free runners were seeing themselves more than just athletes that can do tricks. It was like, we're global travelers. We've got that freedom. So my world tour was promoting that. I wanted to show that, you know, we were like exchanging t-shirts. That's our currency. But this is like the lifestyle of a free runner. When you've got that much freedom, you can just go. You know, the borders that they draw on the map that represent countries are actually invisible. You know, if you just kind of walk across a few of them, no one knows. That's what does me head in, man, is these invisible lines really annoys me, and how like so much of the world is restricted from traveling to allow the ones who can travel. And if imagine, you know, because not everyone in the Middle East or around Asia ways can just get on a plane. You've got to have like $10,000 in your account, family and businesses abroad and all sorts of shit set up. But it's not as easy as it is for everyone. And I kind of feel like racism doesn't really exist if you're judging people by the skin anymore. It's now you're judging people by the color of the passports.
Totally, dog. Totally. Yo, and along the lines of the traveling and stuff like that, I think one of the biggest things that you don't always get credited with, I mean, the people that know, but there's a lot of younger kids that don't, which is, for the longest time, all the Red Bull Art of Motions were held in Santorini, Greece. But the first free runner technically to go over there and run it was you. And how did that happen? How did you stumble upon this parkour heaven?
I keep forgetting about.
Dude, I know your life story, bro. We're going to go through a lot.
Oh, man. Yeah, remind me to get to the funny ones as well, because that leg break has had me in some terrible positions at airports and scanners.
Oh.
Yeah. So, sorry, what was you saying?
Yeah, so how did you stumble onto Santorini? Red
Bull said we're going to go out and do a scout out in Santorini. So I went out there just for a location scout. It was basically a little holiday for me. Wow. And I came back and was like, we've got to do it, guys. This is what it represents. There's so many rooftops that link to each other. It's like, I have to make a video here. So we went back again, shot a lot of footage. I mean, I literally killed myself on the job as well. And I remember like every night between the jobs doing about 10 interviews, and when people were asking the same questions, like what is parkour and free running, and you just copy and paste, and it's like I remember it being such a stressful job because of all the interviews that I had to do on it for some reason. Nightmare. But it kind of like blew up, and everyone got to see like this, how perfect it was for the sport. I mean, okay, there's not much bars there, but for the level to level height drops and the representation of roof culture and what it was, the beautiful scenery, the sun, the sky, and the white walls, it's kind of just, it had to be done. So then Art of Motion kind of went there the following year, and I was like, oh, cool, that was cool. Because I did a video in Boston, and then Art of Motion went there. I did a video somewhere else, and Art of Motion went there. And I thought, kind of like, they're following me. And then the second year came when it went back to Santorini. And then the third year, and it went back to Santorini. I was like, whoa. I'm like, shit. Guys, this is not my fault. I didn't... And people were like, the Russians are confused. There's no bars.
I know. I kind of miss the traveling Art of Motions. I used to like the circuit of them. There was that one year where we did like 3 or 4, you know?
That was the best part. Yeah. Is that they blend the course into the environment that we went to. Like, if you had to build a few extra levels, you'd build it and spray it the colours of the environment. But, you know what I mean? It was great as a touring thing. And the best part about, because when you do it in Santorini on the same course, and then the same again the following year at the same course, the people who were the previous year have got the advantage over everyone who's new. And well, that's enough as far as I'm concerned. And if you keep changing up the course, you know, you'll get a different winner that's best suited to that style of course. So in other words, you'll keep getting the same type of winner if you keep the same type of course.
Yeah, of course. I totally agree with you. I used to like the fact that they were so different. I mean, I got to host ones in Boston, Tampa, Florida. We went to the UK. The London one I loved, bro. That was one of the biggest audiences we've ever had.
Do you know about that one? My dad was in the audience, but he knew that I would freak out if I found out that my parents came to watch me perform. Like, it would just wreck my mind. So they secretly came down, my dad and my auntie, And when I took third place, I seen them in the audience, and it just melted my heart, man. It was brilliant.
Man, that was a unique run though. If I'm not mistaken, on one of those runs you did like fight choreography. Didn't you have guys come out and pretend to be like chasing you?
Well, that was the plan, because I wanted to step it up a bit. And in one of the emotions, I think it was 2008, one of the guys jumped over the barrier into the crowd during his run and got his mate set flipping back.
Yep, he did a back. I remember that.
And he broke his wrist. But the fact that he used people was unique, and I thought, I like that. So I thought, I've got my run planned, but there's a few parts in my run where I had my brother and my friends dressed in suits to come out as Agent Smiths, because I created a soundtrack like I was in the Matrix and Mr. Wizard, get me out of here. Watch out, Neo, there's agents. And then we could pop up on the course and do free running while flipping off them, while making my way to different, just make it more of a performance, you know what I mean? Because that's how I roll. I can't just go down and just kill it and be like, flip here, flip there. I've got to get my head to a point where I know it's a performance and I'm performing this, and I enjoy it that way. And that's when I've always thrown down, you see me, I'm like, I need to show that I really love what I do, and that is really easy. I just look at it and go, yes, I'm going to flip off all this, and we'll just see what happens at the end of it. And usually when you're in that zone, in the zone, you zone it. Like when you see a b-boy who's just throwing the best set down, and you're like, did you memorize that? And he's like, no, it just came to me then. I was in the zone. When you're too busy being in the moment, there's no past or future. It's just present, and you have no concept of time. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know how long that takes you. You'll finish your run and go, wow, I don't even know what I did there. Very rarely that happens in tournaments. But when you train in an area enough, you can zone it to the point where, like, you see people on guitars just freestyling, piano freestyling, with your body just freestyling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's called, I think that's called mastery. You master it, you can freestyle it.
Agreed, man, agreed. And so you won. You were the winner of the 2007 Art of Motion in Vienna, Austria. You won the 2011 Art of Motion in Brazil. When did you officially stop competing, and what made you stop competing, though?
When I didn't even want to compete in Brazil. How it worked was we all went to Japan Art of Motion in Yokohama. And then literally 2 weeks after was the Brazil Art of Motion. They had 4 Art of Motions this year. And so everybody went home for 2 weeks, and they flew me to Brazil to do all the media for it. So I've done videos there, went to a few universities, did promos, done loads of photo shoots. I fell into a sewer, like a proper favela sewer, and they had to hose me down. And then, come the events, people start arriving, and I'm all beat up. I'm like, well then, guys, have fun. And then I see my name on the competitors list, and I'm like, you didn't tell me I was competing. You said come do all the media. You're supposed to look after me. I'm your athlete. And I was just really upset and kicking off. And then they said, okay, you can go on the judging panel. I'm like, yeah, I'll judge it because I'm beat up and everybody else has had 2 weeks rest.
Exactly.
And then the day, it was the morning of the event or the day before the event, we're training on the course. And I did a front flip to cat, Webster to cat leaf. And I was like, I really want that shot for my reel. And I think it was you or somebody said, if you want the shot, Ryan, take part and get it. And somebody bullied me into it. And I ended up announcing that, all right, I am going to compete. So I went in to get this shot. Little did I know, on my first run, I slammed. I actually didn't get it that good. But it was just, I didn't want to compete. I didn't want to qualify. I just wanted to do the first run.
Just get the...
They changed angle, so I missed it anyway. And then I found out that only the top 8 seed through to the finals.
Yeah.
But the guy who came 8th broke his ankle, so I was 9th, so I automatically took 8th position. So it's like, I didn't even want to do this.
No.
I had a bunch of moves in my head that I didn't throw down in my first run, so I just thought, you see me just dance off the top, go, what am I going to do here? Yeah. Gain a full, and then I just make it up from there on as I'm going. I'm just what feels right. And then I get to the end of it, and I thought, I haven't used the bars yet. Get on the bars, fly away double. Then side flip off and thought, that was all right. That didn't hurt myself. Got to the end. little did I know that everybody else tried to go one bigger, one better in the second run and slipped and fell and stumbled to some degree. That I came sailing through with this clean finishing first place run. And I'm having a conversation backstage with someone, and they're going, Ryan, they're calling you. I'm like, wait. Ryan, they want you now. I'm like, what did he want? Like, Ryan, you've won. I'm like, what the hell? Like, I honestly didn't think my performance was in that grade, or it was just such a surreal experience to like then to go right now. What's that mean? You're now a 2-time world champion. I'm like, oh my god, that's it. And this time I got to stand on the podium, lift the trophy, whereas the first time they gave it to me in hospital. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It was a moment, Travis, honest to God. It was like when they give you in hospital and tell you you're world champion, you broke your leg, and that was the last thing anyone ever seen of you for years. And then MTV series come by and people think, is Ryan okay? He's kind of like known as the comeback kid, but is he really better than what he really was? That was the moment I admitted to myself, I'm better now than I was when I was 23 years old. And 23 is the age they say most athletes peak. And I was 27, and I was like, no. You peak when you let yourself go. And
yes.
36 this year.
Crazy, dog. Time is flying.
So anyway, Red Bull loved me even more after that and sent me on all mad sorts of places around the country and around the world traveling. Get on this for a story. So I'm in the Cayman Islands. Oh, beautiful. Have you been to the Cayman Islands?
No, I haven't, but I know friends there that have tried to get me to go. Just haven't had the chance.
The original Tortuga.
Yes.
It's the Pirates of the Caribbean Tortuga. Not where they shot, but like back in ancient times, that's where they used to Pirates Cove is and all that. And they have this Pirates event, this celebration every year where they have like slugs and festival carts and coming down the main pier and pirate ships, and everyone's there's a few Johnny Depp lookalikes about. And I got invited down for that. So me and the local freerunners on the island did this performance in the parade and went to the schools as well. It was such a beautiful place. And leaving on the last day, I had to do a photo shoot on the pirate ship and then get a flight home. I had everything packed. I ripped up my Red Bull t-shirt and made it look piratey, and put this crisscross thing in. Did the photo shoot, dried up in the sun because it was just that hot. Went to the airport. My next mission was Art of Motion, Kuwait, on an island off the coast, on some island off the coast of Kuwait. To get there, I've got to fly Grand Cayman, Miami, London, Kuwait, get on a boat, go to this island. So it was a mission away. I get to Miami, go through the scanners, and like, just going to do a pat down, leg. Take the gloves off, put them in the machine. Machine starts flashing. I'm like, what's that mean? That means you've just tested positive for explosive substances. I'm like, well, I've just come from a firework display, and like they had like cannons and it was like, well, let's say I'm taking everything out of my bag and I'm like showing them videos of who I am and what I do, and eventually they let me go. Got on the flight, got all the way to London, tried to check the next flight and realized they haven't put my laptop in the bag. They'd still got my laptop, and I'm like, oh yeah, like that. Anyway, fine, call me manager, get on the next flight, get to Kuwait. Some reason London never put my suitcase on the flight. Next minute, I'm on this boat going to this island.
Yo, your audio just cut out. Maybe your earpod died.
Your voice just died.
Maybe. Yeah, I got you.
So I was competing in Art of Motion in Kuwait, still dressed as a pirate from 4 days earlier, wearing somebody else's shoes. All because of the leg.
That's crazy. And so what made you finally give up competition? Because for a long time, you were a fixture of every Red Bull Art of Motion, whether you were there as an athlete, a judge, doing the media and press. At what point did you decide to hang up the towel on actual competition, and why?
It was at the end of 2012, during the world tour. I was going to like the 7 World Wonders. There's a hidden episode. The Mexican episode hasn't been released. I got exiled from Chichen Itza for climbing on the sacred stones. So be banned us from releasing the material. It'll probably come out in the future at some point. But then we had to create a 7th episode. So we went to the Art of Motion Santorini. That was happening that year. you know what, I'll compete this for the video, and it'll be my last one, because, you know, I've won this twice. You know, this is where the people want to see me in 10 years' time, still competing at Art of Motion. That's not really a step up, is it? Got to be doing Marvel films or something, which I did last year. So, yeah. So it was kind of a been there, done that moment. I mean, I love it. The pressure of competition. Well, it's good. It's really good. But when it's also dangerous. You know what I mean? The pressure you can perform 50% better, 50% worse. In the stunt world, we can do take after take till we get it right with crash mats and all that. In the free running world, it's like you get one life, you got one chance and all that. And when I'm training, I go out training, I get myself to that A game where, yeah, I can do a con gainer outside now because my levels are all up there. But when you're a dad and you know that you can't afford to spend 6 months in hospital, you got a kid, you know, it changes your life when you leave mortgages and stuff. I still train boss, but I train smart. It's more about, it's not what you can do, it's how long can you do it for.
Totally. No, that makes a lot of sense. And now, one thing I've always wanted to ask you is, like, a lot of people are probably jealous of you at the point of being the first Red Bull sponsored athlete and all the traveling and all the stuff that you did. I'm not saying did you regret being a Red Bull athlete, but did you ever succumb to the pressure and feel like, wow, this is a lot of weight on my shoulders? You were essentially carrying like the sport on your back for a little bit of time from a outsider perspective, you know, to the media.
To that actually hitting me, to actually understanding that, like, the amount of countries that I'd been to at the time was ridiculous, to the point where the message has been spread so far, and it's one of my videos that they've seen. You know, it's kind of like, wow, I've got a bit of a responsibility here. It's, you know, because A, I am seeing the sport grow on a global point of view. B, I need to let people understand that, you know, basically say what I see. So let them know that, yeah, it's happening everywhere, wherever the internet's growing to. There's a parkour community now. And now when something happens, when somebody creates a parkour gym, you know what I mean? It's just, when someone can, the amount of career pathways that have been created from this sport, people are going into physio, people are going into, you know, action, teaching, coaching. There's a lot of directions connected to it, and to be able to use the term professional free runner, you know, it's not, well, to make money from it is to be a professional free runner. But that's such a broad term. You can do a lot if you want a professional title within the sport. There's still positions to be filled.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. It's just so crazy to me now, because Red Bull is such a figure within our sport and our community, but at the very root of it, you were there at like the beginnings, you know? You were there like helping lay the groundwork for a lot of it. It's crazy to think about.
It was hard and stressful, and like, it's hard to, like, am I saying the right things? And you know what I mean? Because a lot of it is like, you know, just go with what feels right and don't go too deep about it. It is, the beauty about it is it can never get that political, because it's just fun. It's what they didn't teach us at PE. We grow up learning to crawl, walk, run, jump, and that's about it. Like, and then if you try and do any more than that, oh, you're an athlete. I'm like, wait, what? No, everyone should just be doing more than that.
Totally, man. No, it's crazy. It's an amazing thing what the sport has allowed for and the opportunities it's created. And, you know, it's allowed so many of us to make a career off of it, get to see the world and do so many things. And I mean,
able to watch each other go, and like seeing you start your podcast, man, I forgot to say, it was such a right move for you. Like, dude, I was thinking about doing it on this side, but I'd need translation.
You could still do it, bro. Never too late.
No, but you're killing it, bro, because you're where it's at, like the hub, and like a lot of the Hollywood stunt guys are connected to the major influencers in the industry right now. You know, you're there showing that, doing that, and obviously, like, we work together. When you think about how much the United States film industry, like movies, would use the English studios and Pinewood Studios, and we've started to shoot in Liverpool now. We've got a lot of productions happening here. I'm just your West Coast England brother, That's
You know what's crazy though is that a lot of people there's a lot of people that get stuck within their own hometown, and you've been fortunate to travel the world with Red Bull, but you also got to work a significant amount of time in the United States, which is kind of rare. Do you actually remember the first time you and I met? Because it's not MTV.
it's not MTV. No, was it the? I came for a pre-visit, like the year before the series.
Nah, dude. So check it out. Do you know where we met? And I had to think about this. We met the first time at Victor's house when we were teaching at Equinox with Philly D and Ben and you.
Oh, when we did that.
In New York. We went to New York and we were teaching at the Equinox fitness gyms. And it was me, you, Phil Doyle, and Ben Jenkin were out there at the same time.
I had to watch the class you did on video and copy that structure. And I'm like, there's no way I can be that articulate as you were just flowing with everything. I'm like, I teach a little bit differently to Travis. I kind of, he's got the lingo for it.
Oh, it's so funny.
I tried my best to, we did another workshop in there, but I think it was terrible. I wasn't into teaching then as I am now. We built the academy, you know what I mean? You know, I can teach anyone to do a wall flip within one day. Most of the time, you wouldn't believe how fast people can progress when you've got material. Things that would take you, took you and me, 6 months to a year to learn. Kids are just getting like that, and it's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
When did triple corks become standard?
Dude, I know, man. It's crazy. And you know what's also kind of crazy? I don't know if you and I have talked about this, but not only did you and I get to teach the Equinox classes, but you also got to do a workshop once with the US military, and I actually got to take over that contract for 5 years after you left.
Wow. Is that where it went? Navy SEALs come back from killing people from places, and I wasn't allowed to talk to them. I just had to give them inspiration about stuff. And it was like a reconnaissance thing, and I had to sign all these documents. And as I entered into the American border, this guy, one of the TSA border guy, was like, "Dude, take your head off. Do not approach me with a head. It's disrespectful." And I went, "Whoa, your military has got me out here to teach them something, bro. You should listen to me."
Yeah, bro. No, but me and Ben Jenkin got to take that contract, and we literally traveled the U.S. and the world for 5 years, getting to work with the Navy SEALs, the Army, everything, just teaching parkour. It's crazy.
That's crazy, man. They want to create some super soldiers, don't they? So they came to us.
Exactly. I just was laughing because they were like, we had one guy who taught before you, but we ended up going with you because you're local to the U.S. And I'm like, who was it? And they're like, it's a guy from Liverpool and his brother. I'm like, Ryan Doyle.
I also did. I taught a workshop for the cast of, was it dance film Step Up 3 or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did a workshop with those guys in New York, and Moose, that dude there.
Dude, I forgot. Yeah, they have that whole parkour scene in 3. I forgot because I worked on 3 also. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, that was another cool adventure. Every time I go to America, I'm always on cool adventures, and that's why I've got so many good memories of the place. I don't go out there for vacation. Well, I do. I do go out there for a vacation, but when people find out that I'm out there, they get me involved in something. And that's what the best part of it is. It's just great memories. And you get to live in my vacation spot.
It doesn't feel like a vacation living here. I'll let you know that.
Vacation?
What'd you say?
Where do you go on vacation?
Dude, honestly, I haven't had a vacation in so many years, but I have to do little things like go to Malibu for the weekend. But yeah, honestly, I've been grinding, dude. I don't vacay often, you know? My life, I like to tell people I don't need a vacation because I love every day of my life. Every day is a party.
Yeah. Well, that's really what I hoped about you, Travis. Is he's so chilled, laid back, and happy, and he's got things so smooth because he's happy. I really want that to be the thing with Travis, and it really seems like that. You know what I mean? And that's where I'm at now. Like most of the world, you look at the amount of fear going on in the world. It's like, guys, it's a maths equation. If you spend more than 50% of your time in a negative emotion, then you're helping the world go to shit. If you spend more than 50% of the time in positive emotions, you're helping the world go towards a utopia. And I think this is what people are waking up to in the big way. It's like, if we release the technology that we've got suppressed from us, we could literally fix everything, and it's going in that direction.
I agree, man. I agree. Yo, and then like you said,
you talk about it, but I can't get political.
I know that's one thing I asked about before we started, like what do we stay away from? So we'll stay away from that stuff. But yo, one of the things you talked about, which is like the ability that you had to come out here and work in America. And I think one of the coolest things that you and I both got to share and that I'll always remember for the rest of my life was working on a little show back in the days that kind of helped lay the groundwork for Parkour in America, which was MTV's Ultimate Parkour Challenge. And you were one of the cast members. I was the host. And honestly, bro, I don't know about you, I wish that show came out 5 years later. I think we were a little too early. Like the world wasn't ready for it.
Isn't it? Oh man, it was just, at the time it was like, it was so early, people didn't know how to take to it. But still the elements within it, creating the video side of it, that was still boss today. It's timeless. You can watch it online. I mean, you can't in this country. But it's just a shame that business happened, man. It got shelved because another network wanted to release their own series, and that's just how it works.
It's crazy. I feel like I wish we were 5 years later when the world already was like using Instagram and Facebook more. I feel like it would have even blown up more because there was a recent documentary that Jimmy the Giant put out about MTV's Parkour Challenge on YouTube. And if you look at the Google history, the biggest spike in parkour search results in history was the day that our show came out to the world. And so I just wish that the show kind of happened 5 years later when the world was more receptive to it, you know? I feel like maybe our careers could have even taken a different path.
Do you think? Because if you're looking at the facts and figures, it did its job. It introduced it to like 5 million Americans, and like, then it went to MTV2 for a year, and it kind of was on loop for a while, and it's like, wow, people are now thinking this is a thing. And like, I mean, it was a thing, but things take a while to spread. This went global fast.
It's crazy when you think about how popular Ninja Warrior is nowadays. I think that's what makes me wish that we were a little bit later, you know? I feel like the world in general now is just more fascinated with that stuff.
That grew out of like things like our show.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the next step, because great, we can exhibition these skills and show everyone what the human body is capable of. But now let's create a proper man course, Ninja Warrior style, and see like what, because that, when you watch Total Wipeout and you think, oh, you know, anyone can have a go Total Wipeout, it's no one's going to win on that one. Ninja Warrior is like, you've got to be good to actually get somewhere in there. It's not easy.
Not at all. Have you seen the new show on Netflix called The Floor is Lava?
No. Oh, is it good? I feel like you're making so many like kids games. Even Tag Chase was like funny.
So here's the thing about Floor is Lava. I don't think that you'll actually enjoy it, but what it speaks to is the fact of why what we do is so special. Floor is Lava is basically a brand new show on Netflix. It's like 10 episodes long. It's a 30-minute competition show between 2 to 3 groups, and all you have to do is make it through an obstacle course from point A to point B, but the only caveat is that underneath everything is water, red water that looks like lava that splashes up and gets things wet. But check this out. To get to the end, you have to basically jump gaps and get across as a team. The biggest gap is 7 feet. Most gaps are 3 feet. And people are terrified, Ryan, spending 10 minutes looking at a 3-foot gap. Can I make this? Can I make this? And they made a whole show about it.
Oh, man, yeah. That sounds good. Where can I see that?
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix. What's it called again?
The Floor is Lava.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, we'll watch that.
But I think what's crazy about it, though, is that it just shows why people are so fascinated with parkour and freerunning and, like you said, what the human body is capable of. Because you watch these everyday Americans, average, ordinary people, some are basketball players, you know, some are doctors, some are nurses, but you see that the average person is riddled with fear when it comes to jumping a gap with consequences.
Just getting the upper body to go off balance, you know what I mean? They've got this balance thing where they keep the head forward, and it's like, you know, go off balance, do a backflip, do something, you know. It's like you need to understand how your body works from every angle. That's why I love trampolines. Trampolines slows the rhythm down, you know, you can go up and slow and think about it and really feel the emotion, or feel the gravity pulling at you. And yeah, that's, when I was 14 years old, I got a trampoline for Easter off my parents, and it really progressed my training.
That's
being able to get on the trampoline just to slow the frequency down and feel what it is you're doing.
Yeah, 100, man. And And you know what's crazy though is that like back in the day when you and I were kids, that's pretty much all you could do was get a trampoline in your backyard or maybe go take gymnastics, you know?
You're like, it just came out in Costco to the public.
But what's crazy though is that like back in the day, that's pretty much all we had access to. There was no YouTube, there wasn't parkour gyms and all that stuff. Now kids are very, very lucky that people like yourself and myself have opened up facilities and stuff like that. So how long ago did you open Airborne Academy, and what do you guys do there?
So we opened up exactly 1 year after Tempest, pretty much. So I was, it was great. Me and my brother were in San Francisco on a Red Bull job. And we said, don't fly us back to the UK, fly us down to LA. Why? Because Tempest are opening the gym. They're having doing this airplane graveyard scene and blah, blah, blah. So we went and joined in those guys. And then I get to the graveyard and the guy from Red Bull's there and he's like, Brian, I didn't know you were in the country. Your online series is just won Best International Series at the Streamy Awards. You've got to get to Hollywood Boulevard now and accept the award. And then, all right, so I get one shot in the graveyard thing, get in the car, drive back to LA. Next minute, they got the Hoff, Mini-Me, epic rap battles, epic meal time, and all these YouTube teams all in this big auditorium, and they're announcing winners, and it's like, this is unreal. I'm like, why does this happen every time I come to LA?
Just chaos.
No one knows who I am. It was great though. And then so from that, we were already in discussions. We came back and we were already in discussions about making an Airborne Academy, and we partnered with 3 families. So we were renting gyms, so we'd go to gymnastic centres and rent, but they were slowly taking away our liberties. 1 week you can't have the bars, now you can't have the pits, and I was like, what are we paying for? Let's just build our own. So we partnered with family and friends of the community, and they all came with the hammers and nails. The whole community was there. You've seen it in the making of video. We built the Airborne Academy for the community, and all the people that we thought was going to be there training actually became our staff. Yeah, we have to grow the next generation.
Yes.
You know the story. You did the same thing.
Of course. That's crazy. And are you guys open or closed right now during the lockdowns?
We are closed, although gyms have been the go-ahead to open. We've got all the correct shit in place. And we're going to open up on 6th of August.
Okay, 6th of August. All right, awesome. And do you guys offer...
It's changed now.
Do you guys offer classes every day? Is it mostly open gyms? What's the mainstay of the business?
Classes every day. You got to understand that like a large percentage of our audience is female. We've got 11 cheer teams.
Wow.
Yeah, they're killing it as well, winning all sorts of trophies. And the free running is pretty much at some point every day. There's training for adults, training for kids, and then usually open sessions of an evening. It's great. And we got a dance studio. We got break dancers in there. And that's what I've been getting into on lockdown. I've been dancing so much more as well for some reason. It's part of me.
Yes.
I used to be into power moves, like flares, windmills, head spins, and then I've circled back round to learn how to top rock and actually not just like hip hop styles, but I learned like tap dancing and locking and
locking baby.
Yeah, man, just trying to heal ankle injuries.
Yeah,
that's all it is. And it's like and I just repeat the tap rip over and over, and it's like, yes, all I need is a pair of sunglasses and a suit, and this will be cool.
Oh, it's so funny, man. Well, of all the things that you've contributed to the community, from Santorini to Airborne Academy, first Red Bull sponsored athlete, a lot of people credit you with creating wall gainer. You've obviously created the Voltaire move and all that. What are you most proud of? Ooh, deep thought. Ryan Doyle's thinking.
Well, that's it. I mean, every so often I'll have a moment like this where I've got to talk about my history. Right? And it's only now when you go over everything that you realize, wow, I've lived. I think it was at the age of 28, so just after the world tour, I was mentally complete about where I wanted to go, what I wanted to do. I grew up watching Jackie Chan films. In my own way, I'd lived my dream by traveling the world, doing my own Jackie Chan project. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I mean, I would love a whole team with me. Maybe a crash mat would be nice. You know what I mean? But it was still living my dream in my way, and it was. And then you try and stop, and you realize, well, Ryan, you don't know how to stop. You don't know how to do anything else. This is what you do now. And it's like, okay, just carry on. It's like, because there's something about when you love something, and you really love something, the next level above that is getting creative with it. You know, the love emotion and creative emotion are really close together. And so I think there's still a lot of unexplored territory in movement, and we're going to be creating, I mean, you've seen the next generation just standing on the shoulders of giants. And pretty soon they're going to be teaching us.
It's crazy to think about, man. And yo, this is kind of a personal one because it's something I've been personally debating myself, but, and don't take this the wrong way, but for the longest time, a lot of us close friends used to always joke about how you always used to bail or fall and crash. And a lot of people didn't know that you had horrible eyesight for the longest time, right?
Yeah.
And so I just want to know, when did you have the eye surgery and what changes has it made? Because if I'm not mistaken, like you used to be like me, you pretty much could barely see anything but just shapes and fuzzy stuff.
I used it to my advantage. I probably wouldn't jump if I could see it, you know what I mean? But it's not safe running towards objects that only come into focus when they're 5 feet away from you.
Totally.
First, like 8 years of me training, I didn't do any bar precisions. You didn't see me do bar stuff because I couldn't see the bar. I was scared of it, and I'd shinned it so many times.
No way.
But what year was it? 2010, maybe 9. No, because maybe 9. It was 2009-10. It was. We'd already done the scouts for the MTV series, but we were going back the following year to shoot it. I think we'd done the pilot. And between the pilot and the series, I got the surgery. Changed my life. It was like such an upgrade. Walked out, could see clear instantly. I was like, I'm sure this is not supposed to be instant, but it's instant. I'm like, in fact, that took longer to put the clamps in than it did to do the surgery. 15 seconds per eye. Why was this so? If it's that easy, just give people eyesight. You know what I mean? Why is it so expensive? Just let people see if it's that easy. Couldn't believe it.
Have you had any issues, or has it been pretty good?
Oh, I've got 20/20 vision. Better than 20/20 vision. I've got a built-in zoom.
No way.
I've got artificial ligaments in this shoulder, stronger than human ligaments. That's called Lars ligaments, which promotes biological growth, so it coats itself in. And then, you know about the leg.
Titanium rod.
Teeth are okay. No, you can bite into ice cream and you just can't feel the pain.
Yes. Oh, that's crazy, man.
NHS, I have rinsed them totally.
Yeah, you guys are lucky with that free healthcare, dog. I've definitely rinsed my insurance company. I've made the most of it. Well, yo, and then another thing that I got to ask you about, which is something that's quite commonly asked, and I know the answer to, but you could just dispel it right here for everyone.
Say things that make me tell stories. Do it, Travis.
Are you? No. This is an easy one, but at least you could dispel it and finally put the truth out. Are you and Philly D related? Phil Doyle.
No, I mean, the Irish got everywhere. There's lots of Doyles about.
I was just curious.
He made one comment in one video, and it was just it was like a meme. It was like, "That's my father," and that was it. Like Ryan Doyle's got a son.
Oh, I just had to ask about that. I had to ask.
So like, we'll find out in the next month.
Oh, it's too funny, man. And so at this point in your career, like obviously you're still training. You've shifted the focus away from competitions yourself, but as you said, you kind of re-inspired on the training journey. Do you still watch anybody in the current times? Like, are you up to date with what's going down in the community right now? Like, do you still stay up to date?
Yeah, because like my boys are all free runners. Everyone's in the circle, so when something happens, word gets out, and like all our conversations are just freaking free running, movies, martial arts, stunts, anything I think that keeps us going, really. You know, so, well, I mean, probably something that came out last week that I don't know about, obviously. But when something goes viral and something goes well.
You saw the gainer at Manpower?
Yeah, I mean, what the hell? I haven't done that gap yet, but I know people who have, and I know it's big. So, distance, he gets forward, like, just going to land in his face, man. And he just beasted it. And like, Manpower's boring now. They've made it looks like boring.
That's right. It's going to take something crazy now, like a double side flip or something to one up the gainer.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what was a big gap in my video in Kazakhstan. Was it Kazakhstan? Yeah. literally, we've done the scout. One of the stunts I wanted in the video was a vortex from one build on the top of a building. It just goes higher and to lower. Between them, there's like a 10-foot drop to scaffolding and pipes and stuff. So we're on the top of a skyscraper. It's just the top on the top, and it's just 2 levels. And I want to go from one level to the other. And it's about 15 foot down, and about 12 feet out and 15 foot down. And I'm running across stones with a metal step up. And it's been raining, so that's going to slip, and it's just the scariest thing ever. But I thought, have you got a crash mat? Yeah, then we'll keep the landing, it'll be fine. Then on the job, on the way to it, this is the day after, it's like, right, we're going to do the dangerous one first, and then the rest of the day should be smooth and fun. Okay, let's go there. Goes, okay, cool. Have you got the crash mat? Yeah, where's the crash mat? It's in the car. It's in this car. Like, yeah, it's in the back. I'm like, look, there's no crash mat in this car, mate. You'd know about it if there was a crash mat in this. And he got up there and he had what looked like a doormat, a welcome mat for the house. And I went round going, I found a bed sheet that would like cushion it a bit more. Looking at this going, this was not the plan. I need to send over photographs of what a crash mat looks like to all my future jobs, all my projects. And just say, get me a crash mat, and people understand that. So I'm up there, I'm at the top of it, and I'm like, first job of the day, this goes. I'm literally just going, and I've decided not to do the vortex. I was going to do a diving front flip, decided not to do the diving front flip because of how slippy it was. I started to just push down, jump up, hold a nice position, land over the house, get the sit in the background shot. And I was freaking out. I'm like up there going, this could be like the end of the project in the first shot. And Hannah, my wife, was standing next to me and she goes, you got this, baby. And I was like, I got this, baby. And I got like the power. I was like, landed, slam, hit the floor, shoulder hit the floor, and everyone went quiet. And I stood up and I was like, yes! I was alive, and then the entire project just went amazing because you're on an adrenaline at that point. You know what I mean?
100.
Video. Did the con gainer outside in the snow. It was the most coldest, -5. Between each take, I had a bed sheet over me shivering underneath. Okay, we're ready. Okay, let's go! Kazakhstan out on my YouTube channel.
Hell yes. And yo, so go ahead.
I was just going to say, while mentioning YouTube channels, just dropped another one yesterday.
Yes, 100%. I was literally going to ask you about that in a second. So Column Brawl just came out, right?
Column Brawl, yeah.
Yes.
Like any for it, and it's what the lads all agreed on. And I wanted to call it Dr. Kickface. But I got outvoted. So it's just keep it simple. Column Brawl and how we did it. That's what the main part of it is, just showing us having fun. So the first 40 seconds of us kicking the shit out of each other, so you think, well, there's a bit of hate going on here. And then the rest of it is, well, actually, there's a lot of love going on here. These guys are working as a team. You know what I mean? And that's the vibe I wanted.
Yeah.
Just go out. Everyone's on lockdown. There's no productions happening. It's like, well, let's just go have fun, is it? Because this is what we do.
100%. And that's available on your YouTube channel, right, for everyone to check out?
Right now, Column Brawl plus BTS. Check it out. Or you can go on my Instagram. I think it's on the IGTV as well. It's Ryan_Doyle. But yeah, it was just a bit of fun, and it came out really well.
Hell yeah. We'll drop a link to it in the description of this too, so people can check it out and click through.
And the plan was to premiere it on the Travis Wong show. There we go.
Here you go, dog. Perfect timing. Hey, yo, and so this is a question I've always wanted to ask you, because I feel like a lot of people around the world like to say that UK is like the mecca of training and good spots. You've obviously been to Santorini, and Red Bull's flown you around the world. Where do you personally think is the best place to train, since you've been to so many countries around the world?
Yeah, I'm tainted on it. Everywhere's got the hot spots. There's even been like real, like, I don't say third world anymore, but real countries where there's just like buildings look like they've been blown up, and it's like, wow, to be honest, it's good for training. You know what I mean? It's like everywhere's got a theme. You've got to go out and find that city's theme for training. Everywhere should have one. But from traveling so much, you know, when I grew up in Liverpool, I hated this place. I wanted to get out to the world, not realizing that, you know, when you see in the world and see what it's all like Liverpool's actually not that bad. It's actually, we're on the west coast of England. We've got the same sunset as LA. You know, we haven't got the weather, but that just means we've got to train harder, stay warm.
Totally. That's crazy, man. Well, no, I think that's really cool.
The Russians won up us, and we've got to train even harder to stay warm.
Exactly. We used to always joke about that, though, that the reasons the Europeans are better is A, because they have less days to train in sun, and B, universal healthcare.
Oh, that actually makes a lot of sense, yeah. See, I didn't even know about. I just thought it was an everywhere thing. When the documentary Sicko came out, remember that one? There's some guy like cuts off his fingers on a saw, and he could only afford to get one of them reattached. And like, he had to remortgage his house to do so. I'm like, oh, come on, just give the guy his fingers back. He'll take you second.
Oh man, that's crazy, man. Well, yo, and you know, more than anything, I think that the coolest thing about your career is that you were born in a time where at least a good amount of it is documented online. So you have those videos, these memories, these YouTube videos, these Red Bull stories. You know, you'll have stuff that you'll be able to share with generations to come.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing why one of the reasons that keep me happy is, you know, we've got the technology to save memories now, and you can always look back and realize, wow, Ryan, you've done some mad stuff. You know, I didn't expect to be alive past 28. And then since I did get past 28, I thought, well, might as well get married now, you know what I mean? It's like, and then you just go, well, the world can be such a beautiful place. It's like, look, we can just create things and make this on a 3D printer. It's 3D printed butterfly knife, and it's just,
wow.
We can matter on tap. We can just create stuff. You know, people feel like you died and gone to heaven. You're like, trying to think of a heaven now. What's the best version of a utopia? It's like a place where you can have whatever you want. Welcome to Earth. We can just think of stuff and print it. You know what I mean? I mean, we're that close to curing death. We probably have. It's just going to pick someone to release that technology or release that type of drug. You know what I mean? It's all there. No, I reckon when people start, I think the majority of the world knows it. We're just waiting for the rest to catch up.
Agreed, Doug. I agree. And yo, so this is a question I ask everyone before we get out of here. And not everyone has an answer, so don't feel forced to answer it in a certain way or even have an answer at all. But I ask it just so that I can kind of like catch it with my buddies and kind of see where they are in a few years from now. So I feel like you'll have an answer to this, though, because I know the way that your brain works. Where do you see yourself in 5 years from now, and where do you see yourself 10 years from now?
Yeah, hard questions, but I could ask another question, like what makes a free runner complete? Was having a problem to solve. It's me A to B, yeah, I need a problem to solve. So the next 10 years, obviously, I'm going to have a companion, a little buddy, little boy or girl. Yep. So we don't know which one. We don't want to know till it's out. And 10 years from now, I'm going to have someone coming with me on my adventures, training, and I'm not going to force them into it. They will just appreciate the love and movement because you'll see it for what it is. It's beautiful. You know, my father tried to force me into football, soccer. I'm like, soccer's what takes away the cartoons. It comes home, television, football. I'm like, no. So I didn't have it's weird because I'm in a city that you can't get enough football. Like last night, the whole city was hollering because Liverpool were raising the cup at Anfield.
Yep.
And it's like, can't get away from it. It's like, I know there are celebrities, like, but some more guys doing this cool shit on this side. What else? It's 5 years. I reckon I'm going to upgrade the house. So same as what my father did. Gave birth to me, my brother. We lived in the house. We moved to a better house. Well, we built the better house. Me and Anthony were carrying bricks for most of our lives. Swear they had us as little slaves. So that's why I'm having kids to build my house for me.
Hell yeah, man. No, that's awesome. And kind of like you just said, man, Liverpool just won, right? So you guys got a lot to be proud of over there.
Yeah, the whole city's celebrating. There's fireworks every night. It's crazy, man. It really is. I can't. I appreciate it, but when you see how much money's going back and forth in it, it's like, wow. It's like something else here. Life-changing stuff.
Yeah, man. But it's crazy. I know that for one thing, Liverpool will always be known for their football. There's a lot of people that are starting to fall in love with Darren Till, who's in the UFC fighting this Saturday. But for me, I will always equate Liverpool with you. I'll always equate Liverpool with Ryan Doyle.
I'll get you here one day, Travis. You keep saying you're going to have a good enough reason to come to Liverpool, but I'll make that happen.
Hell yeah, brother. No, I got to come out once the kid's born. I got to make it out once the kid's born at some point and see the academy. Definitely got to make a trip.
Definitely. If not, I'm definitely going to be taking over to LA because there's so many good memories of that place. I love it. It's my home away from home. You know, when people ask me like where I've lived around the world, I've actually been in there so much that I've lived there. I've been to New York so much and lived with Victor that I've like lived there. You've experienced the lifestyle and how fast it can be and how slow it can be and how different it is. It's like, wow. It's just one big adventure, Travis, and you're a chapter in that.
I appreciate it, dog. I appreciate it. It's crazy to look back on how much time has passed since we first met. I think we talked about the other day. It's been almost 12 years since we first connected, and it's cool to follow each other's personal journeys and see life continuing to evolve, and more so be able to celebrate each other's accomplishments. You know,
so fortunate when the internet came out. A lot of people didn't know how to use it right, and to a degree, we still don't know how to use it right. But now it's being seen as like the global consciousness where everyone can go to fact check anything. But we'll never lose control of it again, to be honest. Since the birth of the internet, certain individuals have been losing control because it's been given independent fact checking back to the people. We'll never lose that control again. And a lot of us have been able to create careers with this internet, including myself, being able to not just show people what I'm capable of, but inspire other people to do it, to spark movements and grow stuff. And it's not like a self-fulfilling prophecy, but you can kind of see how important media is and how it has helped our sport and circled itself around to help the people who are pushing the media of it. And you know what I mean?
Yep, 100%. I agree, man.
It's a matrix of events that's been happening, and when you try and piece it all together and figure out how it all unfolded, it's from a personal point of view the greatest story ever told. You know what I mean? But that's what everyone's life should be. You know, no book, no TV series or cinema movie or anything should ever compare to the story of your life. And it's a love story.
100, yo. And that's kind of a perfect segue along the lines of yeah, I was like, it's reversed. And along the lines of media and all that stuff, before we get out of here, can you just let people know how they can follow your journey and stay up to date with Ryan Doyle and everything happening in your world?
Yeah, I mainly keep what I want people to know on my Instagram. So, I mean, I'm trying to post more and all that. I'm just waiting for stuff to change out there and I've released that fight scene recently as well. So yeah. I think I've diverted away from my YouTube channel so much that I don't know where my main point of where's the best place to view me. I just use YouTube as a library to store all the videos and document what I've done. But if you want to get to me everyday stuff, it's going to be Instagram and Facebook.
Okay.
Ryan Doyle on Instagram.
Yo, guys, as always, please be sure to hit that like button, comment, subscribe for brand new episodes each and every week. Join us every Monday for Jam Breakdowns and every Friday for a brand new JAMCast, interviewing influential members of the movement community like Mr. Ryan Anthony Doyle himself. So as always, guys, I got to give a very special shout out to our guest this week, Mr. Ryan Doyle. Thanks for coming through.
Thank you, Travis. It's been great to see you again. It's been great to catch up. Your show has been cool as well.
Thanks.
Great what you're doing for the community, bro.
Hell yeah. And as always, guys, coming through, I'm your host, Travis Wong. Thanks for joining us here on another JAMCast. Until next time, we'll see you all soon. Peace.